Hey guys, so in this video we'll look at another question, that is, given k sorted arrays, you have to merge them into a single sorted array. So basically you are given three arrays. For an example, let's consider a1, a2 and a3, that is 137, 249 and 125. And I want the resultant array to have all the elements from a1, a2 and a3. That is, and I also want it to be sorted. So the resultant array should look something like 1 1, 2 2, 3 4, 5 7 9. Alright, so you guys might want to pause the video for a moment and try to solve the question on your own, and then you can continue with the explanation. Now going ahead with the explanation, so the most naive way to solve this problem might be that you might want to concatenate a1, a2 and a3, the arrays together. So it will become something like 1 3 7 2 4 9 and 1 2 5. All right, and then you might want to sort this concatenation. If you sort this concatenation, you will get the end result R, that is desirable. The issue with this approach is it's the time complexity. So the time complexity is n log n, where n is the total number of elements in all of these array combined. All right, so this n is equal to the total number of elements in all of these arrays combined together. So how do we improve upon this complexity? So let me just clean the page a bit and then we can move ahead with that. Alright, I'll just let the resultant array stay for now. Okay, so how do we solve this problem now? So one approach is using the problem. So you guys might want to solve another problem, that is, given merge two sorted arrays. This is a very standard problem also used in the implementation of merge sort. You can google this question up and you will find this online. So this question will definitely be helpful in understanding the approach for this problem. So basically, let's now get into the approach. This solution requires the use of priority queue. So how do I actually use priority queue to solve this problem? So before getting into priority queue, let's just understand the gist of the algorithm, and then we will see how can we accommodate priority queue into it. Okay, so before getting into the actual algorithm, we will look at a less optimal algorithm, and then we will try to optimize that algorithm using the priority queue. So let's just move on with the algorithm. Let's just write down the arrays. So a1 is 1 3 7, a2 is 2 4 9, and a3 is 1 2 5. All right, so just like in the standard problem that solves this problem for two sorted arrays, we are doing the only difference where we are doing this for k sorted arrays. All right, so basically if you remember, we put two pointers at the starting of the two different arrays in case of the previous problem, but in this problem we will, since they are k different arrays, I will put k pointers as the starting of each array. So let's say the i1 is pointing at 0, i2 is pointing at 0, and i3 is pointing at 0. It means that i1 is pointing at 0th element of a1, i2 is pointing at 0th element of a2, and i3 is pointing at 0th element of a3. All right, so now how do I determine the next element of the resultant array? All right, so I have initialized the pointers. Okay, so i1 is pointing at 1, i2 is pointing at 2, and i3 is pointing at 1. Okay, so these are the numbers being pointed at by the pointers. So for all of these numbers at which pointers are pointing, I need to find the minimum one among all of these. All right, so since there are k different numbers, the time complexity for finding the minimum number between these k numbers will be O of k, right? If I do it naively, so I'm just trying to explain the naive algorithm, it will be O of k. Okay, so at each step I will pick up the pointer with the least value, pointing to the least value. Okay, so in this, that time complexity for that is O of k. I have written it down. So now just continue with the algorithm. So let's say in this case I1 is the smallest one. Both I1 and I3 are pointing at the element with equal value. Let's say I am prioritizing choosing from array 1 here. So the next element of the array, of the resultant array, or the first element in this case, will be 1, and the pointer for 1 will be incremented to 3. All right, now between these pointers, that is I1 equals to 1, I2 equals to 0, and I3 equals to 0, I know that A3 0 is smallest, that is its value is equal to 1. So I'll choose it. I will increment the value of I3 by 1, and I will also shift the pointer to 2. All right, now between 2 and 3, I know that 2 is the smallest. So let's say I'm choosing 2 from A2. It doesn't really matter, you can choose 2 from A2 or A3, it won't really affect the end result. So the pointer will be incremented, 2 will be inserted in the result list, and the pointer will also be incremented over here. Now between 2, 4 and 3, I know that 2 is the smallest one, so 2 will be chosen. The pointer will be incremented by 1 again. All right, so and between 3, 4 and 5, 3 is the smallest one, so 3 will be chosen. All right, now between 4, 5 and 7, 4 is the smallest one, so now 4 will be chosen. All right, and 4 will also be inserted in the end result. Now between 5, 7 and 9, 5 is the smallest one, so 5 will be chosen next. All right, and the pointer for 5 will be incremented. Now the array A3 is empty, I do not really have any element to choose from this array, so let's just strike it off for now. And between 7 and 9, 7 is the smaller one, so I'll choose 7 next. Now this array will also empty, so let's just strike it out, and now I will choose 9. All right, and this result is equal to the end result. Okay, so now the time, getting into the time complexity for this algorithm, let's say I was running this algorithm for n array, for k arrays, each with n elements. Okay, for k arrays with each with n elements. Okay, so the number of operations that I will do is equal to n into k. All right, because I will be inserting n into k elements in the resultant array. So this will be the number of operations that I will be doing, and since each operation requires a comparison of k different elements, the time complexity for this each operation will be O of k. So the total runtime complexity will be O of n into k, that is O of nk square. All right, so this is the time complexity for the naive implementation of this pointer based approach. All right, now I want to improve the runtime complexity. So how do I improve it further? All right, so basically let's just retrace back the steps that we just took. Let's just write down A1, A2 and A3 again, and then it will give us a better understanding of how to do this, how to improve upon the current time complexity. All right, so the answer is priority queue. How do we actually use the priority queue to implement it? That we'll be getting into a moment. Let me just clean this up a bit. It takes a lot of time to clean things up in here. All right, I'll just choose the eraser array. I'm still just getting used to this UI. I'm not that much used to this UI. All right, let's just write down the arrays again. So let's say the array is 1, 3, 7, A1, A2 is 2, 4, 9, and A3 is 1, 2, 5. So basically, if you remember, we were initializing the pointers I1, I2 and I3. Okay, so let's just initialize these pointers again, and the numbers that the pointers are pointing to right now, what we need to do is we need to push those numbers in a priority queue. All right, so I will push all of these numbers 1, 2 and 1 in a priority queue. Okay, so let's just push these numbers in a priority queue. All right, so let's say I created a priority queue where I push these numbers. Okay, so the algorithm is simple. All right, now use the priority queue to find the minimum number. Okay, in this case it will tell you that index I1 is the minimum one. Okay, so we use that priority queue to find the minimum number is A1. Okay, it can be A1 or A3, it doesn't really matter because both of them are equal. Let's just say priority queue told us that A1 is the minimum one. So basically I will take that value and I will pop one out of the priority queue now. Okay, I will remove one from the priority queue. I will append one in the end of the resultant array. I will pop one out of the priority queue over here, and then I will push 3. I will increment the value of I1 by 1, and then I will insert A1 of 1 into the priority queue. That is I will insert 3 into the priority queue. All right, so now the priority queue will contain 3, 2 and 1. All right, now I will again answer the minimum, ask which element is minimum. All right, so the priority queue will tell me now the 1 is still the one is the minimum element in the array, 1 from array A3. So I will append 1 into the resultant array. I will increment the value of I3 by 1, and I will insert, I will delete this one, and I will insert 2 into the priority queue. All right, so this 2 will get inserted into the priority queue, and 1 will get popped out of the priority queue. Okay, so between 3, 2 and 2, I know that 2 is the minimum one, so I'll pop 2 out of the priority queue. All right, let's just say I popped this 2 out of the priority queue. So these are the active elements 3, 4 and 2 right now. So I popped this 2 out of the priority queue. I will increment the value of I2 by 1. All right, and after that I will insert 4 into the priority queue again, and this will keep going on until and unless I have exhausted all the elements. So basically what we are trying to do achieve is, we are trying to at the step when we try to find the minimum element, among all the pointers, we try to pinpoint the minimum in them in O of k time. All right, but with the help of priority queue, since they are at most k elements active at a time, we are doing it in O of log k time. We are So basically each iteration is taking O of log k time, because in each iteration what you do is you insert an element into the priority queue. All right, you pop an element out of the priority queue. These are the two things that you are doing, and you find, so basically these are the only two things that you are doing at a step. So combine these two, take log of k time, and since the total number of operations were n into k, because for each element that you are producing for the resultant array, you have to perform at least one operation. So the total number of operations will be n into k, and the total time complexity will be n into k into log k. So we actually reduce the factor of k to log k. So our previous time complexity was n into k square, and from there we jumped into n into k into log k. So this is how this entire algorithm is coded up. So or not coded up in this way, it's how this algorithm can be visualized. Now there are also other ways to solve this problem, not very much standard, but it's actually worth watching them as well. So for those who are interested in cracking interviews, this might be enough, but for those who want to learn more, they might continue with the video. All right, so continuing with the video. Let me just create a new page for this one. Let's say that we have 3 different arrays again, 1, 2, 3. A2 is, let's say, 1, 3, 7, and A4 is, let's say, 1, 8, 9. So basically, how am I supposed to I want to achieve the same time complexity, nk log k. All right, but without using priority queue. So how am I supposed to do that? All right, so the answer is very simple. We will let's say you have k separate arrays. Just visualize them at something like this. All right, this is array 1, this is A2, this is A3, and dot dot dot. Let's say this is A4, sorry, AK. All right, so basically what you will do is, at each iteration you will pair up two arrays. Okay, we will pair each array with the adjacent array. All right, if there is an odd array, strike the odd one out, leave it as it is, and it will be passed to the next iteration as it is. For, let's say initially there were k arrays in total, let's say there were 8 arrays in total. So I will just try to explain this with an example of 8 arrays. All right, so let me just clean this up. Or even for even more simplicity, I will try to explain this with help of 4 different arrays. All right, that will be even more simpler to understand. So let's just, this is a3, let's just write down, bring another array into picture, that is 1 2 1 to 5. All right, so let's just write down those arrays like I mentioned. So let's say a1 is something like 1 2 3, a2 is something like 1 3 7, a a2 is a3 is something like 1 8 9, and a4 is 1 to 5. All right, so what, at each iteration what you will do is you will pair the adjacent arrays up. So in this case you will pair up a1 and a2, and then in next and then you will pair up a3 and a4. All right, so for the arrays that you have paired up, you will apply the algorithm merge two sorted arrays in so there is a standard algorithm that we discussed before. So the algorithm is, you try to merge two sorted arrays such that resultant array is also sorted. All right, so basically you will try to apply the same algorithm to these pairs. Okay, so the resultant array for this pair, the first pair will be 1 1 2 3 3 7, and the resultant array for the second pair will be 1 1 2 5 8 9. All right, then you have two arrays remaining. All right, now you will apply the same algorithm, merge two, you will pair them up. Since you have only two arrays remaining, let's just pair them up, and you will apply the same algorithm to them, merge two sorted arrays, and that will give you the end result, that is 1 1 1 1 2 2 3 3 5 7 8 9. So basically the time complexity, if you apply the same algorithm to this is a very simple algorithm. Okay, and if you apply the same algorithm to k different arrays, okay, each with, let's say each with size n, the time complexity will be n into k into log k. Why is that? So let's just get into the details of time complexity analysis of this problem. So time complexity analysis here might get slightly hectic for a few people who are not that much into mathematics, but don't worry, I will try to make it as simple as possible. For those who are having trouble who might get trouble understanding the time complexity, for this one I will recommend understanding the time complexity of merge sort algorithm first. And if you understand the time complexity of merge sort algorithm, you will understand the time complexity of this algorithm as well, very very simply. All right, so moving on with the time complexity part, I'll just create a new page for simplicity. Let's just say you have k different arrays. Let's say this is a1, a2, and so up to ak. All right, now you paired each of them up. All right, so in the next iteration you will have you will have, in the first iteration let's say you have k arrays, in the next iteration you will have k by 2 arrays remaining. All right, in the next iteration you will have k by 4 arrays remaining, and this will go on until you have just one array remaining in total. All right, so what will be the height of this tree, the total number of iterations that will happen in here? So the total height will be log k, because in each iteration you decrease the value of k by 2, so the number of iterations will be equal to log k. All right, so that is for sure. Now what is the time complexity for solving each level? Okay, so if you look at each of these level, if you look at any of the level, let's say I'm talking about this second level. Okay, so the number of elements in this in the on the second level is the same as the number of elements in the previous level. So the total number of elements in each of the level are same actually, to be honest. So that will be equal to n into k. Okay, to be precise, there are n into k elements in each of the levels. Now what is the time complexity for pairing them up and merging the consecutive elements together? All right, so the time complexity for that will be equal to, let's say I merged the so time complexity of merging any two arrays is equal to the number of elements in the first array plus number of elements in the second array, right? Let's say n1 is the number of elements in the first array plus and n2 is the number of elements in the second array. So the time complexity of merging two sorted arrays is O of n1 plus n2. That we already know, right? So from that hypothesis, if we say that we since we are merging n into k elements in total, the time complexity for merging a height will be equal to n into k in total. If I talk about let's say I'm talking about first two pairs, let's say these have n1 elements, second one has n2 elements, third one has n3 elements, fourth one has n4 elements, and fifth one has n5 elements. So time complexity for merging first two element will be n1 plus n2, and second one is n3 plus n4. Time complexity for merging first pair will be n1 plus n2. The second element for time complexity merging second pair will be n3 plus n4, and for last element let's just let it be. So this n1 plus n2 plus n3 plus n4, it will always be less than equals to n into k, right? In case it's an even number, in case the total number of elements on this height is even, this will be equal to n into k. Otherwise the total time taken will be less than n into k. All right, so in that case the total time complexity, in worst case, since at each step the total time complexity of running each level is n into k, and there are log k levels in total, the total time complexity becomes n into k into log k. So this is the time complexity analysis for this problem. So for those who didn't really understand this, it might be because I explained it very haphazardly, but the time complexity is very much similar to the time complexity analysis of the merge sort. It's like in merge sort, the only difference is you start with arrays of size 0. All right, and you're starting, so that's why you have n different arrays in there. Okay, if you look at merge sort, it's the same problem that we are solving in here. In merge sort, you try to merge n sorted arrays of size 1. Okay, so because of that, since there are n number of arrays of size 1 each, the time complexity is n, and there are n elements in total. The time complexity is n into log n. All right, so that fits in from the time complexity that we are from our time complexity. It match the time complexity of the merge sort. If you look at it, it matches the time complexity that we are suggesting, because if in the case of merge sort, the value of k will be equal to n, the value of n will be equal to 1. So there will be it will be something like there you have n elements, you have n arrays of size 1 each. So the time complexity will be n into 1 into log of n. So it is n log n. So that's all for this video, guys. I hope you guys got to learn a lot from this one, and I will keep posting new videos.